Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode where we will be drafting from the 2024 NFL draft class here in this Madden franchise series. I've imported the class and I've done the best I can to get it into a realistic order, and I've gone through test drafted a few times on a different franchise, but I don't really know how well it'll do. It's so weird. Madden's been incredibly stupid with the whole draft class making this year. But yeah, I have all 7 rounds. Personally made this class myself, as I boasted about last episode, and all extremely accurate, especially when it comes to the uniforms and what they're wearing and all the accessories and stuff like that on each player is very much like they are in real life, literally every player. And I chose the Patriots for this. I don't really know how many Patriots will still be left on this team, because I think I'm just going to scrap the whole roster for draft picks in this upcoming draft and just go ham on this 2024 class and really just make this series all about that class. A lot of these guys will not be here, I guarantee you, and I'll probably just start offloading soon. I don't know how much the salary cap's really going to contain us or really going to hold us back if it does, but if it doesn't, we should have quite the good time here just pawning off pieces, including maybe Kyle Duggar. He's hit an age mark at like 28 where I don't really know if I want him around. He's more like a linebacker anyways, not really a traditional safety. And Jabril Peppers older as well, maybe about 26 or 7 at this point. I don't know. There's just 28 even. So there's just some questions about this team, and I'm going to make sure there aren't any. Just trade everyone away. Also in free agency, we got Jonah Williams. If he tends to be here, I don't know if he'll like really stay, but if he's here at the end, I won't be surprised after we're done trading everyone away. He would just be a nice piece to have, like, regardless if we can't draft a good tackle or anything like that. But yeah, a lot of these guys are going to go. Oh, and if you guys don't know, it looked like we had the 2nd overall pick at the end of last episode, but I guess we come out with a 3rd. So we have the 3rd pick in this draft, the first round, the 3rd overall pick, so we can control some of our destinies. Done deal. It's Mac Jones across for Cody Mock, a versatile offensive lineman with high upside, can literally play all 5 positions. Yaya Diaby, a speed rusher that just has elite athleticism out of Louisville. I don't know how much of these guys are really going to make the team. And Anthony Nelson was just for cap reasons, for the money reasons. His contract kind of didn't line up, and the Bucks couldn't really afford Mac Jones at the time. So yeah, we're looking at a 3rd round pick, and perhaps Cody Mock will be like the only people we really come out of this with. Done deal. Ramondre Stevenson across for a 2nd round pick. Love that. Deke Elliott and Sean Wade get us a 3rd round pick. And we are depleting our roster so much, we might have to go sign free agents so we don't like go under the like maximum players or minimum players you can have on a roster. Yeah, but we're basically moving room by room right now. We've moved the quarterback room, running back, and now we're on to wide receivers with guys like this. I basically just put them in the trade finder and go through all the possible landing spots and kind of look for the best fit if if anyone has interest. Kind of perks my interest. Never mind, they have negative $21 million in cap space. So on to the next. Okay, the Steelers want Juju back. That's fun. Done deal. Juju and a 2nd goes across. Probably could have got like a 2nd and a 7th or whatever, but the Steelers 2nd round pick. 3rd round pedigree for Devontae Parker, 78 overall wide receiver, veteran guy that can go in and help the Chiefs. We get their 3rd round pick in return. Done deal. This year 3rd, next year 3rd. Good chow. Judon Kendrick Bourne for the 15th overall pick in this upcoming draft from the Cardinals. They have a lot of salary cap, so I thought we'd just dump some of our bad contracts on them, and they come out probably a little bit better, and we come out with a 15th overall pick. Sam Roberts, David Andrews, and Hunter Henry on the move for a 2nd round pick from the Titans. They pick generally high. Can't remember the exact number of this pick, but I think we get good compensation here. Gesicki and a 5th for a 2nd and a 3rd round pick from the Bengals this year, so we're looking good here. I think this is more than fair compensation as well. Ooh, running into our first problem is the negative $1 million in cap space. That's a little bit of a problem. Done deal. The 15th overall pick we acquired earlier from the Cardinals, Trent Brown, and a 2nd this year will give us the 2nd overall pick and a 5th round pick to make up for the one we just lost, and that was our only 5th round pick, so I kind of wanted one. That's so bad. It did. Okay, I was hoping that the penalty wouldn't really work right away, but it looks like it did, and that puts us deep down in the salary cap. Obviously it's gonna take a toll here with the penalty. Not a blockbuster or anything here, but Duggar, Bentley, Dietrich Wise, we tried to get their 10th overall pick. They didn't really want to budge. We got the 42nd overall pick, the 2nd, 2 5ths, and a 3rd next year to replace the one that we lost right now. I know this doesn't look good. You're just offloading more. You're going to incur more of a penalty. I know. But the point of this series is to get rid of and just kind of make a clean slate for 2024 draft picks to really work out and to develop. So we have a lot of money invested in Jabril Peppers, and then Jonathan Jones and JC Jackson have a lot of money tied to them, which is tough because them getting JC Jackson, like them being the Patriots, put us in a really like good but bad spot. We're gonna be deep in the penalty, but we'll have some good draft picks. I don't know. Mike Onwenu is probably gonna stay. I didn't, just extend him for nothing. We'll probably kick him back to guard or anything that he wants to play or ends up working out best at. But I think that what we'll do right now is just work with like Jonathan Jones, Jelani Tavai, and then remove who's in this one that we don't want. So my plan here is to get rid of JC Jackson, trade these two, and then we trade JC Jackson and Jabril Peppers. Holy crap. Took a while. It didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, so we have to trade JC Jackson first. Got Anthony Nelson off our books for a 5th this year, 2 7ths next year, and a 3rd in 2 years, just for a 2nd round pick this year. Jesus. Oh, okay. So it looks like JC Jackson was the ultra villain to our cap room. We now have money like actually available and out. So I don't know what we'll do, but I think we'll start with a trade with these two right here. Done deal. So next year, 5th, and Jabril Peppers gets us a 1st this year, a 4th this year, a 5th this year, and a 6th this year. W trade. So now we have picks 2, 3, 31, 35, 40, 42, 47, 60, 63, 67, 74, 87, 95, 99, 127, 138, 157, 159, 163, 191, and 197. And I'll still look for scraps and remainders on this roster that possibly could be on the move. All right, done deal. Barmore, Jones, Jonathan Jones, that is, Cole Strange, a 2nd, a 4th, and a 5th all this year for the 10th overall pick. So we now have the worst built roster in all of football right now, with our best overall player, Mike Onwenu, at 83 overall. Christian Gonzalez, promising prospect. Jelani Tavai, who I'm looking to trade right now. I don't know why I call him Jelani, but it's Jelani Tavai, and I'm looking to trade Jack Jones right now, trying to bundle these guys up and try to get some from them. Done deal. Jack Jones, Jelani Tavai, Yaya Diaby, 6th this year, a 5th this year, a 7th in 2 years for Josh Azudu for cap reasons, and then we get the 51st overall pick, I think, in this draft here. So we did good, and I think that is a fully depleted roster. So the team as is right now, Marcus Jones, I don't know how good of a cover corner he is. He's more of a gadget guy for this team. Yeah, 65 zone. He's probably not viable. So if we can get something for him, I might look to. Just a really good athlete. I don't know how much he'll really translate in game and how many busted coverages he'll have. Josh Azudu, Onwenu, Mock, Jake Andrews, City Sao, bad offensive line. Kevin Harris, I believe this is the last remaining running back. We're going to run Cade York at quarterback. Screw Chad Ryland. And Keyshawn Butte, Douglas, Tyquan Thornton. Defensively, though, Adrian Phillips, perhaps we look to move on from him. If there's any reason to do that. I don't know how Lawrence Guy ended up staying on the roster. He sucks. Mapu here, we'll keep him for sure. And then once again, Marcus Jones might find his way away from the team as well if there's the right deal. Done deal. 3rd, 4th, and a 7th. The 7th comes in 2 years, but a 3rd and a 4th this year for Marcus Jones, definitely worth it. We'll get a better cover corner than he is. Maybe not as good as an athlete. That's kind of harder to find, but we do get a good player. And yeah, we are down to the bones of the to the team here. Actually, we aren't even on just the defense. We're both offensive and defensively down to the bones. This whole team is scrapped, and we're gonna look to make a huge draft class and have one of the best teams ever. And now remember, the only thing in question is that number 1 overall pick, because we don't have it. We don't have that pick. We have, I'll go look at the roster right now, and you can go check the draft picks, which is what I'm on my way to do. It's like so wide open. Depending on who goes at 1 can really screw us over, but we have the 1, 2, 10, 31, 35, then the 40, then the 47, 51, 60, 63, 67, 74, 87, 93, 95, 106, 127, 138. So in the grand total, we have 20 picks in this draft. So there's 22 positions to fill to be starters on offense and defense. So we're gonna have to make these picks count and really like get some solid people in here, or we are going to suck year 1, which we probably will regardless. But let's start drafting. I'm gonna go ahead. What the heck? Okay, I thought it just like sim over the draft. I was gonna go crazy, but here at number 1, who is gonna go off for the Chicago Bears? Because they have needs at quarterback. I could see Marvin Harrison Jr. being the guy here. Olu Fushanu, I'd be more than interested in. Move Jonah Williams out to right tackle, on Wenu back into guard. Brock Bowers can be a huge pick, but any one of these quarterbacks are probably going to be my 2nd pick. If Caleb Caleb Williams goes at 1. I really like want Caleb Williams. I'm not gonna lie, he's so fun in Madden, and could be some super crazy stuff. Let's see who is the number 1 overall pick. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Chicago Bears. A lot of rumors right now in real life that this could be the way that the draft goes. Now at number 2 overall, Caleb Williams is on the board. Physicals are great. His elite throw power is so enticing, and the fact that he can just flip it on his wrist. He could be sideways, he could be backwards, and all we know, he can throw it behind him without even seeing the receiver. He can make a completion. He could play hero ball. Caleb Williams is a guy that I want. I want Caleb Williams. I'm gonna take Caleb Williams. The hidden development. I know the development trait, all right, but I'm not gonna give it to you guys in case there's any question about it. You guys can start guessing, and I won't spoil it for y'all. But this guy's a, oh my god, back-to-back picks here at 2 and 3. Now I would be interested in trading this away. Olu Fashanu, we're good at tackles with Jonah Williams and Mike Onwenu. If I wanted Brock Bowers, I could stay around here. Our next pick is at number 10, which gets a little difficult because there's only so much blue chip up here at the top. I'd say Joe Alt's a blue chip talent, Malik Neighbors, Romo Dunze. I don't know, Nate Wiggins probably not. Jared Verse blue chip talent. Yeah, I'm looking at the draft board here. I would really like to stay towards the top here, but I do want to acquire some assets. I don't know what we'll do though. Kind of a reason I wanted so many picks too is we could be very flexible in this draft board. We do have a pick at number 10, which is also something to kind of keep your mind on. Now we can move down 2 spots with the Chicago Bears and let them kind of do something. I don't know what we could acquire from them that would be like quote unquote worth it, but if we could just do this, move down 2 spots and get a second, which we can't. I would like to though. All right, bummer, but we really couldn't find a trade partner that has like willing trades and stuff that I like. We will be left picking here, and it's probably close between these two right here, Fashanu and Brock Bowers. We need someone to really work out with Caleb Williams. I think Brock Bowers works with this, but Caleb Williams is going to need time and protection, and Olu Fashanu is a very good tackle. And at 10, I mean, later in the draft there might be some tackles or whatever, but there's no other tight end in this class like Brock Bowers, which makes me hesitant, and we already are good at tackle. So I think I'm going to go Brock Bowers here, number 3 overall. As crazy as it is, positional value wouldn't have it here. That's 2 very good players, blue chip talent to me at 2 and 3. And the Commanders at 4 go Olu Fashanu off the board. At number 5 with the Bears, it's Nate Wiggins. What a rise he's been. He's athletically gifted, very good sticky coverage. Leatu Latu goes this high despite the medical concerns. Probably showed up and did well at the combine with medicals. And Joe Alt to the Jets. And here with the Titans, they go Talise Fuaga, someone that I like the scheme fit. I like them getting a mauling right tackle to run behind. And that's a real early pick for Talise Fuaga. We're on the clock next after Drake May finally goes off the board to the Colts. And that gives us a chance to select here at number 10. We have a variety of talent still left on the board. Malik Neighbors, someone I love. Super shifty, great around the line of scrimmage. After the catch, he's amazing. Such an electric player, and someone if we can get at 10, I feel like is good value. But I still would look towards like defensive linemen we need. But there are some down the board that are pretty good. But I also like receivers down the board. It gets really challenging. Ooh, I'm actually not a fan of some of these guys down here. Now we could look at the outside linebackers in terms of, you know, these guys that are pass rushers and say, oh, there's a few. But when it comes to edge rushing depth in this class, I think it's just a little bit better here towards the top end versus you know, what we'd be getting with Malik Neighbors with a deeper receiver class. I think that we can hold off on that and really attack with a Jared Verse type player or a Jerson Newton for all I care. But Chop Robinson on the board here, freaky athletic, great at just power. I mean, look at that freaky twitch and a power moves. I like the guy. Or do we go with someone so sound like Jared Verse, who's good, you know, rushing the passer, but it's not exactly amazing against the run, has struggled at times there and hasn't really developed in the last year? Do we go for the freaky athleticism, crazy upside in Chop Robinson at 6'3"? He's a lot more thin than you'd like. I'd like to add some weight to him as the offseason goes on. I don't know if Chop Robinson's the pick for me, but I know he's good. I like the player. When's our next pick? Because that really kind of screws us. So at 31, what's the receivers or people we'd be looking around at the back end of the first round? We're looking at like guys like Amarius Mims, JT Tuimoloau, Braylon Trice, who I like a lot. Denzel Burke, Xavier Worthy that low. I don't know. Chop Robinson, athletically gifted. We can go with Dallas Turner, Jared Verse here, but I just like the elite athleticism and crazy upside of Chop Robinson. Welcome to the Patriots, big dog. At number 11, the Raiders will go JC Latham, a well-needed right tackle spot, and Jared Verse, the next pick off the board for the Buccaneers. And with the Giants, they're already moving on from Evan Neal, getting Amarius Mims from Georgia, and he's someone that could have gone a little earlier or later. Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of Alabama, probably one of the more sound ones in this class. Jazon Newton, improving that interior defensive line in Arizona, and the Minnesota Vikings go JT Tuimoloau, already looking to move on from Marcus Davenport, getting someone else on the other side of Danielle Hunter if they were able to retain him. Malik Neighbors finally goes to the Buffalo Bills. Almost called them the Broncos. Good fit there, and he'll be so good alongside the guys over there. And Dallas Turner to the Texans. Great fit for D'Amico Collins for sure. And the Seattle Seahawks, they go Bo Nix. He finds his way off the board of the Seahawks. I can so see this happening. Gets a year behind Geno or something. And Cooper DeJean's a former teammate that reminds me a lot of Cooper DeJean and Riley Moss in terms of like white corners, right? Goes to him last year, Iowa teammate, and Cooper DeJean, the first rounder this year for the Broncos. And at 21, Braylon Trice off the board. Lucky we went Chop Robinson as JT Tuimoloau and him both found their way off. Troy Fountain, a riser through this draft, perhaps one of the better ones. Offensive lineman in general, kind of like a Peter Skoronski type. And then with the Kansas City Chiefs, pretty big pick here. They'll go Jordan Morgan out of Arizona, player I don't mind. I don't exactly think the world of him. And there goes Romo Dunze, someone I was keeping tabs on. And with the Dolphins going Keon Coleman, they get a jump ball receiver, exactly what they need over there. Actually, it's a fun fit. Keon Coleman, I don't know how far he drops in real life. Like, this is so inaccurate as to terms of what's probably slated to happen in real life right now. Now, my favorite team, the Green Bay Packers, get Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. I like that quite a bit. And with the Falcons at 27, they go Quinyon Mitchell, the Toledo corner, finds his way to the first round. Unlikely in real life, but he's been such a riser this year. If he continues to, it won't really matter. Insane production between pass breakups and interceptions. Baltimore at 28 now. Where will they choose to go? They go Kamari Lassiter on a boundary corner pick. And at 29, Carmen Kinchins, the safety for the Steelers now. And looking at the Dallas Cowgirls, their pick in the first haul, taking Emeka Egbuka right out from under me. That is very unfortunate. Now we'll look for players on the board. Adonai Mitchell, good player. Xavier Worthy, good player. Got in. We've lost a lot here. I love Xavier Worthy, man. He just gets downfield and lickety split. He finds his way down the field so fast. Now Adonai Mitchell, with his tall stature at 21 years old, he's good at winning at the catch point. He's got some questions about him athletically. I don't know how fast or how great he'll test. And then with a guy like Xavier Worthy, who tested out of his mind, there is no participation in the combine for any of these guys, because when I imported this class, it was after the fact. So looking at two Texas receivers right now. Maybe we expand our horizon and look around a little bit more than that. Nope, not really liking what I see past these two guys at the top between Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell. Now, who would complement Demario Douglas the best is probably Adonai Mitchell, but who in the long term is better between Worthy and Adonai as well? I like the route running on Adonai. We can find some speedsters later in the draft, perhaps. At wide receiver, Troy Franklin. Brian Thomas gets off the line really quick. Lad McConkey's not exactly an athlete. Maybe some speed down here with Jermaine Burton. Trey Harris is fine. But there's some guys down the board that might be a little bit better. I don't really know. I think we're just going to end up taking Adonai Mitchell out of Texas. Tall stature, like I mentioned, great acceleration. That's good. That's what I like to see. Only solid speed, good strength, good route running. Give me Adonai Mitchell at the spot. Hidden dev, 89 speed. 89 speed does kind of is kind of rough. Now it's a good thing that we pick in 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. We'll only have 3 picks ahead of ours, and those picks are going to start with Tyler Guyton at 32 to end that first round. And the first pick of the second round, moving to day number 2, it's Leonard Taylor flying up the board here for the Panthers, who need interior defensive line. They address it. And Michael Penix goes to the Cardinals. I don't like that fit at all. Now, my pick here, I'm going to try to get away from receiver a little bit, and we see T'Vondre Sweat, who's got, I mean, some crazy upside. He's 362 pounds, standing at 6'4". So T'Vondre Sweat is a bad athlete. That's expected, but a total anchor on the interior of our defensive line. Could be the pick here. We pick at the third spot of this is our pick right now, and then in 5 spots we pick again. That is where we could probably go T'Vondre Sweat, but I don't want him to get swept out from under us. He's too fun of a player. Give me T'Vondre Sweat here. Hidden development, 96 strength, the run stopper standing at 6'4", 362. You see how big this man is. Yeah, that's a good pick in my eyes. 4th pick in the second round here with the Commanders. They go Landon Jackson, the edge rusher out of Arkansas. Someone that, if you guys haven't seen, so fun, crazy player there. He's had injuries throughout his career as well. A fun, athletic freak, just a height, weight, speed freak that gets off the edge in a rush, and he's 6'7". It's massive. And then they have a back-to-back spot here with Graham Barton going off the board, someone I would have considered, and they only make it easier. Denzel Burke off the board now, and then one more pick until our pick, and that goes to the Packers, who take Tyler Nubin, the safety. Quarterbacks remain on the board, and now we're looking to maybe get a compliment to Adonai Mitchell. Maybe we bring in his Texas teammate Xavier Worthy, or we could look to corner, where we also need players, and I don't really like any of the guys up here, to be frank. I like Javon Bullard, I like Kalen Bullock, but I also like Jeremiah Trotter. A little undersized, yes, but he's a good like field general type guy for Clemson, and he could be there for us. Now, this isn't a throwaway pick, but with a guy like Xavier Worthy still on the board, we can just pair him up. We can say, hey, you guys were great teammates, great compliments to each other at Texas. We could bring you in. But I like depth in this class, and I want that to be kind of part of the storyline. But another great story is the Texas teammates coming out and balling out for New England. But there are other positions in need. Like, every position is obviously in need, but middle linebacker tends to be one of those. Jeremiah Trotter, it's not a deep middle linebacker class, but there are some outside linebackers that are cover linebackers that can come in and play. I like guys like Ben Bywater, if we're kind of getting stingy here with the middle linebacker. Justin Jacobs, someone so fun as well. But I'm gonna look at the right outside linebackers, guys like Edgerrin Cooper, who's slated to go a little later, Barrett Carter, Peyton Wilson, terrible with injuries, but such a good player, and Danny Stuntsman down the board as well, a little younger if you're looking for that sort of thing. So I don't really know what we'll do here. I think the fun thing to do would be Xavier Worthy, but the smart thing to do would be Jeremiah Trotter. And I think I'm with the smart group here. Give me Jeremiah Trotter at the spot. Hidden dev, 87 speed, tremendous athlete, but a little undersized. You'd expect him to at least make up with some of it in athleticism. Now we pick in very few picks, but a lot can happen between then and now with these upcoming picks. Pretty important to us. And Kalen Bullock, someone I would have considered off the board. Patrick Paul, a good tackle out of Houston I quite like. Jonah Ellis, edge rusher, someone I definitely would have considered had I known he was still on the board to go to the other side of Chop Robinson. TJ Tampa, someone I didn't even think about, is off the board as well. Now New York goes Xavier Worthy and kind of stops us from getting another opportunity at making that decision. And Jaden Daniel goes to LSU. That could be so much better if Jaden Daniels was somewhere else. Oh, that stinks. That sucks so bad. I might have to like manually go trade some of these guys. So we have a pick and 4 picks, and I have an idea who I want to go with there. It'd be Johnny Wilson. But for now, I'm going to look a little further up the board. And I'm also actually going to go through like one by one to see if I'm not like missing out on anyone through these. So this is what I mean by Madden is so screwed up. You can go to all here and you see where Xavier Legette is. But look at these round 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3 projections. 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3. Brandon Dorlus is 2, and it keeps going down. But Johnny Wilson here. But there's no Xavier Legette to be found. Well, there is right here, and he's someone I'd be very high on at taking here. And Johnny Wilson's all the way down there. Yeah, I probably got to go with one of these boundary corner guys. Not a whole lot left in the class. I don't like Josh Newton's athleticism, but I also don't like Kalen King's size. He's quite good in coverage, and if he can really get that confidence back after getting beat so bad by Marvin Harrison Jr., he's definitely there. So Kalen King, and I'd say that's pretty much the only other guy other than receivers that I want right now, and Kalen King is just a way bigger need. So the Penn State corner, Kalen King, has solid speed 2. He's not that great. That's so rough. B-man coverage, C play rec, A press. I do like that. Kalen King. Sure, he could be a good player for us. Get him here. I thought he had normal dev, I'm not going to lie. But man-to-man, 5'11", 191. Probably look for someone taller later in this draft to play and maybe emerge as a corner. But I don't, it's tough. Vikings up next. Now, what do? They go JJ McCarthy. That is so huge and so good in terms of like simulation and everything like that. Bills with their second pick. They go Chris Braswell. 2 SEC schools go, or 2 SEC picks for him, and the Browns in front of us go Human Milan, who actually is not coming out. It looks like he's going to explore the transfer portal. So here at 19, we pick again in 9 picks. So it'll be Xavier Legette up there for me on my board. If we want, we can go someone further down like Kingsley Suamatia. And once again, I'm just going to go through position by position, make sure I'm not missing anyone. So look at this left end spot. It's already so depleted. I'm glad we got edge rusher when we did. Adisa Isaac could come in. Nelson Caesar, I'm quite a fan of. Jordan Birch, not really. Tom Duncan. We are going to have to kind of work on edge rusher soon if we're going to want some of these guys, because it's getting kind of bare there, but still have some outside linebackers like Jack Sawyer is up for the pick here for sure. Steve Linton is actually a player in this class just as a potential UDFA. He's too deep down in that left outside. What am I talking about? He's too far down there in the rounds, and yeah, it's very thin at edge rusher right now. Oh boy, we might have no chance or no choice but to go with some edge rusher. So obviously we have Uche, and then we got what was the guy, the Texas guy, Sweat, Devondre Sweat. So we're looking at Uche, Chop Robinson, Sweat, and that's 3. And then we could get another edge rusher, but that wouldn't really work with Uche. So we actually need interior defensive line. So Brandon Dorless would work, and then we can get like a guy like Nelson Caesar or Fitu later, anything like that. But we would need defensive interior, and Chris Jenkins is still on the board. There are guys down the board that I actually like maybe a little bit better than some others. Tyleek Williams, one of them. TJ Sanders, quite a player. So I think we'll stick to ourselves right now, our board, and that's kind of the best we can do. And like I said, I'm just going to go down. I'm going position by position and making sure I'm not missing anyone. And I haven't, and I have my mind made up. We are going to Xavier Legette. Crazy athleticism, amazing size, 6'3", 227, an absolute tank. He's emerged so well this year and really just put himself on the radar. Not the best route runner, but is such he might be labeled as a deep threat. He is, but he's so good after the catch and as a playmaker. Xavier Legette is pure athleticism, opposite of Adonai Mitchell, who you would say is more of a technician. Xavier Legette is just a beast. He's like a DK Metcalf. Now, a lot went right with DK Metcalf in his young career, and we can't really make everything like that happen to Xavier Legette, but if it does, it's going to be great. The Saints, with the next pick, go Edgerrin Cooper, someone I definitely would have had my eyes on, and Powers Johnson off the board was going to be my pick here. Next up, Newton off the board now to the Jaguars, and Shador Sanders is a Chief. I'm gonna have to trade him as well. Jonathan Brooks to the Eagles. That's fun. They do have Kenneth Gainwell, and then I saw they re-upped DeAndre Swift, so he will be there, and Jonathan Brooks kind of just sitting there. Jatavion Sanders couldn't have gone to a better place. The Dolphins will use him a lot, especially in year 1. The Packers, Trey Benson. These running backs are starting to go, and the last pick until we pick Javon Bullard, someone that would have been up for this pick as well. Oh, we have Chris Jenkins staring us right in the face. This would be hard to turn down. He has fallen on a lot of people's board, but as good of a pass rusher as he is, while still being able to stop the run, and he's got good athleticism, there's a high upside right there, but I just don't really know. I like guys like Barrett Carter. I want edge rusher a little bit sooner than later, and Jack Sawyer. Like I said, we have Uche, but how much do we like Uche? How much do we want to pair Barrett Carter, the Clemson guy, who can make great plays, especially in coverage? Him and Trotter to be a sub linebacker duo. I like that a lot too. All right, well, I have made my mind up. It's probably going to be Barrett Carter, just good athleticism across from the good IQ of Jeremiah Trotter wouldn't hurt, and Barrett Carter is very good in coverage, and I guess coming down as well. There's a lot of stuff to like about Barrett Carter, the Clemson linebacker, who was consensus linebacker 1 in this class for a while, and now it could be Cooper or Trotter, and Barrett Carter has kind of fallen off boards, but I'm I'm still fine taking him here in the back end of the second round for sure. Cardinals up next. We'll go with Chris Jenkins, someone I would have considered here when we pick next. And Cowboys go Christian Haynes, someone I probably also would have considered here. Now, I really don't want this player sneaking by me, so Bucky Irving here will probably be the pick. My favorite player in this draft. F stamina. I probably have to fix that, unless some of these players actually all just have F stamina and I'm just dumb and did it all wrong. But yeah, definitely not F stamina. This guy can stay in a game. So yeah, C to F. So it looks like I didn't do a good job, I guess, basing on the ratings there. But yeah, Bucky Irving, one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player. So I guess you guys would see the favoritism and bias here for Bucky Irving, and I'm not going to let him even sniff the third round. We're going to take him here late second. Yeah, you see the 90 speed, but look at the 94 acceleration, 92 agility, a little bit of a smaller back. We're probably going to have to get someone later to complement him, but just can't let Bucky Irving slip. Sorry. And the 49ers next up, they'll pick Kingsley Suamataia, someone I like a lot, and then Jack Sawyer, edge rusher out of Ohio State, off the board. Rod Moore, someone I would have liked, and I was lucky not to skip past this next pick, realizing it's the Patriots on the clock. Now, Troy Franklin has fallen a while. We do need a slot type of receiver because we already have, Xavier Legette, Adonai Mitchell, and so we do have Demario Douglas on roster, but it's like Demario Douglas just a little bit better built. Troy Franklin is, so might consider that here, but I don't think that that's the pick. I don't know who else to really go with, though. You know, like Cooper Beebe does come up in my mind. He's just a power guy, you know. He just wins with grit and power, and that's something I like and something very Patriot-esque if we're looking to keep that attitude around. So if we want Cooper Beebe to come slot in at left guard, then we can move Cody Mock to center and City Sal over to left guard or to right guard, maybe. That might be a possibility. So Cooper Beebe might be the pick. I just got to do a little bit more soul searching here. I don't like just like going out on a whim here. I like to make the calculated decision. Or someone I also really like, Kyron Omegaji, just a very gritty, another sort of player that I love out of Yale. Like, you love that intelligence there too. Great understanding of football. But yeah, you have Kyron Omegaji playing at right tackle, or I guess left tackle, and then we could move Williams over to right tackle, on Onwenu back inside somewhere. That would work as well. If we want to look offensive line here, which I probably would look to do, it's pretty much a need right now. But yeah, at this spot, there's no one I'm really like rushing or really want. I mean, later in the draft, we'll have guys like Justin Jacobs down here who I'll keep tabs on. They're not like definitely like draft them, but Ben Bywater, same thing. And then Peyton Wilson would be quite fun as well. Just really been plagued with injuries his whole career. Stuntsman's quite fun. But corner, Sainer Stills on my mind here. Jason Marshall as well. Malachi Moore, slot corner out of Alabama. Tony Grimes, another injury-plagued guy that is going kind of lower. Same with Catalon. Cole Bishop's quite a fun player. Tyke Smith even. We can hold off on safety. There's quite a few I like down the board. Not a fan of like really any of these guys, but we already have Marte Mapu, so that's fine. When we're looking at the overall grand scheme of things right now, Ladd McConkey just obviously feels like a Patriot, but yeah, you can kind of just look around, and I think that right now the pick either needs to be Johnny Wilson, who I must have, 6'7", 237, still has significant speed, has solid speed, which is good for his size if you didn't know. F catching, though. Yeah, he's a developmental piece that we'd look to keep behind some of these guys that would play in front of him while he develops his catching, because his hands are extremely inconsistent. So for me, it comes down to Kyron Omegaji and the other guy that we're talking about, Cooper Beebe, or Beebe, depending on how you want to say it. And Cooper Beebe is younger, and that kind of just gives him the edge. 6'4", 335, elite strength, just plays with all the willpower and grit you need. Give me Cooper Beebe at this spot. Probably not a popular pick and a boring one. Sorry to take so much time on it, but like I said, I like these calculated decisions. Commanders up next, pick Byron Murphy, someone I like out of Texas, former teammate of Tavondre Sweat, our defensive tackle. Dante Corleone goes off. Then Trayvon Henderson, I like that fit a lot. Give some explosiveness over to the Chargers, guy that can run in between the tackles and just rocket up the middle of the field. Brian Thomas finally goes off the board to the Jets. That's a fun one we'll have to keep tabs on. Cardinals up next have had a very good draft, and it keeps going with Blake Corum, undersized but good running back. Reason he's going here in the third round. And then obviously the Colts up next, Donovan Edwards. The running backs are on a run. I'm glad I got Bucky Irving. Now I circle back to maybe Kyron Omegaji here. I'm not exactly sure where else I'll look, though. Now Brandon Dorless out of Oregon is a fun, energetic player. I'm not exactly sure where we'd find a spot for him. He's got A finesse moves, B power moves, A tackle, A play rec, B awareness. Looks like a great player. and maybe is slated to be one of those. Is he 21? He's 23, so one of these veteran guys that knows how to use his hands, good play rec, good IQ, everything like that. And he could come play defensive interior for us. He'd just be very thin at 290 pounds to play some defensive tackle. And I circle back around. I really want to shore up that linebacker spot for us, and Danny Stuntsman is a very fun player, flies around the field, man coverage, pursuit. It's just like a super fun, eyes open player, plays with a smart mind and some good athleticism out of Oklahoma. He's got some fun hairstyles as well. Danny Stuntsman could definitely be someone, and you would look to obviously take Peyton Wilson over him, who is up for the linebacker of the year, or I think won it, but he is 24, major injury concerns, has elite speed, he's got all the coverage and everything like that. He's better than Stuntsman. Stuntsman, to me, a lot more of a safe option. Fun, high upside player still. Good size at 6'4", 241, 21 years old. I'll take Danny Stuntsman here. I'll be just fine with that as well. So yeah, Stuntsman, welcome to the team. So now we're looking for defensive tackle and center. We need another wide receiver, another tight end, and then another running back to complement Bucky Irving. Ultimately, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots left, and we've got, I think, about the same amount of picks, so we'll have to make them count. And there goes my Kyron Omega G to the Raiders. I think double drafted tackle. I think they got JC Latham earlier, if my mind serves me correct. So Kyron Omega G is a Raider, and then the Cardinals will take Peyton Wilson. Good luck with him and his injuries, but if it all works out for him, he could be a great player. Brandon Dorless finally finding his way off the board. That way he could stop tempting me. Mekhi Wingo, someone I quite like as well, off the board to the Broncos. Cardinals up again. They get Tate Ratledge, a spectacular guard I like quite a bit. Wake Forest is Kalen Carson in the 3rd round, exactly where he should probably go in the real draft. We'll see how good his combine is, and he could go up draft boards. But yeah, Kalen Carson, Wake Forest, man-to-man corner there. Ruko Oro goes to the Packers, fun, and they need defensive interior there as well to the Packers. And Troy Franklin off the board, finally. That way they can really stop tempting me. Back-to-back picks here for the Seattle Seahawks. They go Mason Smith for the first one, and the second they'll go Luke Lackey, the Iowa tight end that I quite like. Lions will follow that up with Dominic Puny, someone a late riser here, someone that should be a sure guard, or not guard, a tackle, maybe a good starter at the next level. Little experience there as well with him, a lot older prospect. And Von Prawn goes right in front of us. His name's probably Van Pran, Cedric Van Pran, but I like saying Von Prawn. So we probably have room for 2 more receivers with Johnny Wilson and someone else further down the board, but Johnny Wilson and me isn't worth the pick right here, right now. I like guys down the board. Roman Wilson's just a good football player, just severely undersized. You can kind of say the same thing about Jermaine Burton, but his game's a lot different. Roman Wilson likes to play like physical, and it really doesn't fare well for him. And there's Ricky Pearsall down the board. There's just some guys at wide receiver that I wouldn't mind complimenting later. Johnny Wilson would probably be the lead for me right now if I can't find anyone else. At this pick, I've talked about defensive tackle, and this is an undersized guy, 6'2", 280, Michael Hall, but he always finds a way to win. I like the way he plays, and he can always stack on some poundage. He needs extra weight before he ever starts a football game for me. So Michael Hall, welcome to the team. I'm going to take the pick here. 90 strength, which is just good enough. He's an okay athlete, and who knows? He can end up being a great player for us, but I like the way he plays, and hopefully he can gain some weight quite fairly. It might be next season that he starts to try to make an impact. Texans pick up next right after us, not Stackhouse, and this is where we should be worried about Johnny going off the board. Quinn Ewers to the Dolphins, quite fun. And the Packers will take Mahogany, someone I liked and probably was looking to take further down the board there. But we'll advance to the next pick where the Falcons will pick Zach Zinter. Some guards flying off the board right now. Didn't mean to view my draft board. The Falcons had a sneaky good draft, if I remember correctly. They've had a lot of picks, and I think that they've made it worth. And Zach Zinter's another good player, solid. And Jalen Polk to the Baltimore Ravens, someone I was definitely considering right here. Now, Johnny Wilson can't catch very well, is a not so good route runner, but the upside is tremendous. 6'7", 237. He moves 1 mile an hour slower than DK Metcalf at full speed. It's yeah, this is Johnny Wilson all the way for me. Super fun individual, and could be a huge player for us a year down the line or whatever it is. As soon as we start developing him, he can he can fly. He can do just about anything on a football field. There's only a 1 pick delay till we pick again, and that'll be the Cowboys in between our picks, and it's Andrew Muckaba someone I was considering here. We need safety. So my current needs right now are a tight end 2, which we'll worry about kind of later. I have someone in mind, and then a slot receiver, a second running back to Bucky Irving, and then we need interior defensive line despite the Hall pick because he's just so thin. And then we need both safety spots, but strong safety is a little bit less of a concern because we already have Marte Mapu, who I like, and we need a nickelback, which is a slot corner. So on my draft board, it probably goes Billy Bowman, or it probably actually starts with running back Audric Estime, who is right here. So it goes Audric Estime, then it would probably go Jahdae Barron or Billy Bowman. These two are kind of interchangeable. And then Jaden Hicks, maybe Lathan Ransom, pretty far down the board there. But yeah, there's still DJ James left on the board. I looked to get Mike Sainristil later as our nickelback. Just a little insight to what I'm thinking here. I love Audric Estime, fun player out of Notre Dame, 20 years old, big physical back that has some explosiveness to him. He's not the greatest at finding holes, but luckily I'll be using him if if that's the case. So Audric Estime, welcome to the Patriots. I like this pick. You know what? I'm not so bummed about it. Done deal Tyquan Thornton, Kevin Harris for a 5th round pick. Just going to be kind of doing this to accumulate a little bit more picks here because stuff I want. It'll be Adrian Phillips for like a really deep 7th round pick. It's just like not worth anything, but it's just worth having, I guess. Never mind, that 7th round pick did have a purpose. We get a 4th, 5th, and a 6th in this draft. We also get Sinet, whatever. But City Sal has already been replaced. And yeah, that's just fine. Okay, back to the draft where we'll have the 49ers taking Ladd McConkey. I like that. Panthers will get DJ James. That's a good value pick. And Billy Bowman, the safety, off the board. Quite unfortunate. And up next, Mike Sainristil. No, he's supposed to be mine. That's very unfortunate. I really wanted Mike Sainristil. Junior Colson off the board. And we're really in crunch time now because a lot of the guys that I want actually have the possibility of falling off the board right here. Michael Pratt off. And the Chargers go Blake Fisher. Just quite a good pick. I wouldn't call it like the best pick ever. Jahdae Barron also goes off the board. Great. Just great. Gabriel Murphy, could care less about him. Glad he goes. And here comes Cade Stover. Good, very great value, actually, in my opinion. Now, for me, it's between 2 different players at this point. It's probably between Bo Limmer, who I'm not really 100% worried about. So Bo Limmer and Zach Frazier are 2 that are on my board. Probably Bo Limmer over Frazier. Free safety, Cole Bishop as well. And safety just continues to be a little bit more of a need than any other position. And just seeing Cole Bishop here along other, pretty good company, I would just rather have Cole Bishop, a player I like. Great athlete. Not great athlete, but good size and has good speed and athleticism for the position that he'd be playing, with a block shedding to come down and play the run. Raiders coming up. Marshawn Lloyd, the running back. I quite liked him. He was one of the first running backs I looked at / scouted. And there goes Zach Frazier, the center. Now we can only hope that our guy stays on the board from then to now, as we're seeing some guys go off the board. Braylon Allen, someone I wanted too. He's quite a very fun player. He's like the size of Derrick Henry and he's 19 years old. Crazy story. Almost no hesitation. We're going to take Arkansas's Bo Limmer. Good all around. He's not great anywhere, but he's just a solid guy, and that's someone I want starting for me at center for now. And here we are, just back in the draft order. Smile Munden goes off the board. I liked him a little bit. Jaden Hicks, the strong safety, off the board. Adisa Isaac, someone's name that has been rising recently. AJ Barner, quite like him as well. Will Shipley, Clemson's running back. Dallin Holker, one of my favorite prospects, just a personality, fun guy like that. Joquavius Marks off the board. Mississippi's Joquavius Marks. Tyke Smith, free safety, off the board now. Broncos next pick goes James Williams. And then the Packers take Joe Milton, quarterback out of Tennessee. You don't know how I feel about that. And Nelson Caesar, Houston's edge rusher. I was a fan of his. Baltimore's McKinley Jackson. And then Steelers going with Nehemiah Pritchett, the Auburn corner. And the 49ers, one pick before ours, goes Jason Marshall. That's a bummer. I like Jason Marshall a lot. Now for me, no hesitation here. TJ Sanders, young lad, 21 years old, almost 300 pounds. A lot of mobility, great strength with good athleticism, kind of raw for now, but when he gets good, he should be very good. TJ Sanders, standing at 6'5", 298, 21 years of age, out of South Carolina, is the pick for me and our Patriots team. Now we don't pick here for another 11 or 10 picks. It'll be Bo Braid, the Maryland safety, off the board, and Howard Cross. I liked him coming out of Notre Dame. Ben Sinnott, That's my guy. He's off the board now. All these tight ends really starting to fly off, and there goes Jaheim Bell. Tyron Hopper, the Missouri linebacker, someone I liked a lot as well. Tommy Eichenberg. Oh man, things are unraveling here. Tyler Davis out of Clemson to them being, who was it? Was it the Chargers? And then the Broncos go ahead and get Darius Robinson, another player out of Missouri I liked. And then Carolina's Javion Cohen, Colts pick up here. And they go Tyleek Williams. I like him a lot too. I would hate to just go for big receivers, but that's really all we have here in this draft other than Roman Wilson. And I'm not a whole big fan on Roman Wilson being our guy to play in the slot 24/7. Now, Theo Johnson's probably the next tight end I'd want up next. Other than that, it'd be McAllen Castles to be our tight end too. So we'll have to see where that kind of, all shakes out. And then I'll look at linemen here to see if there's anyone I like. I like Javon Foster a lot. I'll tell you that. So here at this pick, it's between one of these receivers, whether it's like Torrey Horton, Devontae Walker, Jermaine Burton probably is like a small receiver that I wouldn't mind having. Theo Johnson's pretty much off the board for me. It's probably going to be Javon Foster here. I don't think that he's the best ever, but he's got some upside. Good strength, can hold his own. I don't know. I like the player here. His seniority kind of helps out a lot with the experience and just being solid. So let's go Javon Foster. That's not my best pick ever. Advance to the next pick where Ben Bywater goes off the board. Then Jermaine Burton. And then the Keith Randall, Illinois defensive tackle, goes off the board. Lathan Ransom, someone I liked. And our next pick here, I guess Jack Nelson will be picked before our next pick, where we will select, I don't know, insert name. Now, Chris Abrams drained just due to his, I guess, his bad, I wouldn't say bad, size. He's still 5'11", but 178 is a little bit more thin. I think he can come down, play some slot for us, B press, A tackling. I like that. So give us Chris Abrams drain here. He's another normal dev player. Now 13 or 14 picks until we pick next. Spencer Rattler to go be the backup, and Jalen Catalon goes off the board. That was my pick for my next pick. That was going to be him. He's a potential UDFA, but due to injury, that's what's really keeping his draft status down. Now someone's willing to take a shot on him. They're going to go ahead. Linton, some of these no-name guys going off the board. Shamar Turner, A&M guy. I kind of like him actually. Isaiah Adams, right tackle, just a good mauler if that's what you're really looking for. Jay Trav, love Jordan Travis, unfortunately tore his ACL or broke his leg actually. And Fabian Lovett goes off the board. Florida State's back-to-back picks, and Max Melton goes off the board, someone I probably could have looked at as well. Torrey Horton, the Colorado State wide receiver, goes off the board, and next goes Tupoila Fitu. I always struggle with that name. Oh, we aren't even picking yet. One more pick until our pick, and it's the Rams, and they'll go Riley Leonard, quarterback out of Oregon? That's not right. He's a Duke guy? Why am I second guessing that? I think he's a Duke guy. So yeah, he's entering the transfer portal out of Duke. I'm talking about Riley Leonard, and it looks like he might be on his way to Notre Dame, where Sam Hartman's coming out of. Aubrey Brooks is the last free safety left. Dude, it's so annoying. I wanted Jalen Catalon. I was banking on him being here, but I guess we'll just have to run Marte Mapu. Not a big deal. I like the player a lot, so I'm fine with that. Out of Sac State, I'm close to that, so go Sac State, I guess. Kyrie Jackson's got good intangibles. He's 6'3", 195. He's got okay speed from what I remember, solid speed, and can come down and actually make a physicality or have a physicality trait to him. So Kyrie Jackson's in play. I don't know, like he might be a rotational corner. We already have Darius Rush on the team who's very similar, in terms of, but athleticism, he's way better. Kyrie Jackson's way worse. So thinking about it, we have Adonai Mitchell, and he's big, of course. Xavier Legette, he's massive at 6'3", and then Johnny Wilson's a freaking skyscraper at 6'7", and we have Demario Douglas kind of singles out. It would be like our probable slot, but I know Trey Harris can make some good. I know he's more of an outside guy, but someone I really like, and we could end up playing Johnny Wilson in our slot spot. I don't know, but Trey Harris, to me, he's just too good to pass up here. Clean cuts, fluid athlete, good strength at the catch point, good run blocking. Trey Harris is just a little too good to pass up right now. So I'm going to go Trey Harris here at this spot, and hopefully all pans out, but Trey Harris, welcome to the team. From what I remember, I think Theo or whatever. Yep, okay, that guy. Thanks, game. You just gave me his. Oh, that's annoying. He was going to be the pick if it weren't, that right there, if he wasn't picked. And then coming up, it's Cedric Gray, and then Marquez Cox out of Kentucky, guy I kind of like, and Ray Davis, the running back out of Kentucky, goes, and we'll be picking. Now it really is just best player available, and I will be looking for backup quarterback. Devin Leary probably leads that conversation. Brennan Armstrong's also someone fun, and Jalen Daniels also fun. So Devin Leary probably leads that conversation for me right now to be backup. A guy like Devin Neal, who's not like, he's just fundamentally good, so he can just add to depth on this team, which is good. Always looking for that, but right now it's best player available. Malachi Corley never really caught my eye. Roman Wilson's a good football player. I'll keep saying that because it remains true. Ricky Pearsall is here, not someone I really want. And then Trey Knox is a good vertical threat, but too bad we already got Brock Bowers, and I think McAllen Castles just kind of seconds him better than any of these guys. So yeah, like literally everyone is gone. I like Justin Jacobs a lot. I mean, I think we'll obviously take a swing there. And then when it comes to running back, Kyrie Jackson's on the board, Malachi Moore, Tony Grimes, actually. Give me Tony Grimes. Injury concerns like crazy. He probably has an F injury. Yeah, C to F. I can guarantee you that's an F because this man has been through the ringer, from what I remember. A-Press, C tackle, C zone coverage. He plays man-to-man better than... Oh, okay, never mind. He plays zone. That might be a little bit of a concern, but he's a traitsy guy. Runs fast. Speed is great. Marginal strength, obviously not great, but yeah, good athlete. Can run. 6 foot, 190, ideal size. Give me Tony Grimes at the spot, and hidden development, of course. And this late into the draft, I'll just be keeping tabs here. Trey Knox, the tight end out of South Carolina, goes off. It's Dumas Johnson, Bryce Foster, a center you keep eyes on. Malachi Moore finally off the board. He'll be a good nickel in the league. Curtis Jacobs out of Penn State, someone I kind of like. Jordan Birch, someone I did like and would considered here at the next spot. Jalen Harrell, you don't really hear about him a whole lot, do you? Dan Connor Kobe goes off. It was going to be my pick. Just a fun player there. And Will Shepard off the board, a player I really liked. He's I can already tell you, 73 overall player. I think he has superstar dev. Super fun. And Devin Leary, okay, of course, goes off the board. That's unfortunate. Jasheen Davis, Wake Forest's edge rusher, weighing around like that 250 mark. Someone that could be nice and agile for you. Jalen Ford off the board. Jace McClellan off the board. Kyrie Jackson finally goes. Thank God he won't be tempting me anymore. And Justin Jacobs, of course, off the board. Someone I like. I like him a lot. And unfortunately, he just goes. He plays with his hair on fire. Just very fun. Profiles really well. Willie Roberts, Layden Robinson off the board. Who's going to go next? Who's stealing my heart? KJ Jefferson would have probably been next up in that conversation for me for backup quarterback. Ruben Fothery, Aubrey Brooks. Burks, not Brooks. No, I'm getting kind of crazy here. Steel Chambers from Ohio State goes off. For me here, it's probably going to have to be McAllen. I don't know how good he is. I can't remember. This is honestly and one of the last players I did too. Normal dev, 24 years old. Jesus Christ. McAllen, welcome to the team, I guess. Big dog. And a few more picks until we pick our last pick. J. Michael Sturdivant off the board. I'm hoping some of these receivers will start to really flow. It's Cameron Ward. I forgot we also need a backup quarterback. God dang it. I wanted another receiver. McMillan going off the board. Ricky Pearsall. Glad these guys are actually going off in the draft. That way they're not available in free agency. And Devin Neal, someone I also would have considered. Off the board, Raheem Rocket Sanders entered the transfer portal, or wants to at least. And then Robert Lewis out of Georgia State, someone that's quite fun. And for the pick here, it's Jalen Daniels, the backup quarterback. He's nothing great out of Kansas, 21 years of age. Like I said, nothing really special, but he can do some things, I guess. So Jalen Daniels, welcome to the team. Now that was officially our final pick. We have no more on the board, but I will go through and I'll look to see if there's anyone I really want to trade back up for. I like Mayan Williams. So there's like certain guys, especially in this wide receiver room. I don't know, not Moose Muhammad, but Mario Williams might be worth it to me. Jordan Whittington's quite fun, older prospect, but got involved in Texas's offense this year. Bo Collins, definitely worth it, 6'3", 210. And if they fall to a certain spot, I might have no choice other than to trade up for some of these guys. So yeah, I think I'll just want one of those receivers. So Chow Smith-Wade goes off the board. Trevin Wallace, the outside linebacker from Kentucky. Cam Hart, Notre Dame's cornerback. Jamari Thrash out of Louisville, not a fan of him. Montreal Johnson goes off the board. DeCorian Clark out of UTSA. I'm a fan of his. I think he'll be pretty good, not like amazing, anything like that. Not star power. Gabe Hall, the Baylor edge, goes off the board, very solid. Jarquez Hunter, Auburn's running back, and Oronde Gadsden. This guy, or Gadsden, might switch to tight end. He's massive. I think he might be like 6'5" or 6'6", something like that, but got some weight on him. Mario Williams does go off the board. Sam Hartman, Brendan Armstrong goes to Seattle to go back up. Whoever got picked there, I can't remember if anyone did. It was someone definitely went there to sit behind Geno for a year. Anais Smith, Texas A&M. And Carson Steele, running back out of UCLA. Jordan Whittington, someone I said that I might trade back up for. Keaton Slovis, the BYU quarterback. He's not great. Roman Wilson off the board. So no one really at this point worth trading up for. Bo Collins, especially now that he's off the board. No one. And Noah Spencer goes off. And Brian Flanagan. These guys are not real. Malachi Corley, finally. He's supposed to be a lot higher, maybe a third, fourth round pick. Sorry, it's just really funny. Malachi Corley barely squeezes off the board. Brendan Rice, same thing. Supposed to be a lot better than this. George Jeffers and Devontae Walker, someone I definitely would have snagged up in free agency, and Bob Brackett. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are we ready to see our draft class? It is gonna, okay, it's taking a long time to load up here. It's Caleb Williams, number 1 overall, or number 2 overall, number 3 overall. We got Brock Bowers, Chop Robinson here, 76 overall, Adonai Mitchell at 74, Devondre Sweat's a 73, Jeremiah Trotter at a 75, Kalen King's a 72. Wish he was a lot better. Xavier Legette, or I wish we targeted corner more than we did. And Xavier Legette, Barrett Carter, Bucky Irving, one of my favorite players, Cooper Beebe, Danny Stutzman, he should be, whoa, I didn't realize I had him that high. Michael Hall, I knew I had him this high, but damn it, his weight is an issue. He gets tossed around like a rag doll back there. Johnny Wilson, it's just a huge mold of clay at 6'7". Are you kidding me? Audric Estime, I like quite a bit as well. Cole Bishop, 74 down the board. Bo Limmer, TJ Sanders. Javon Foster wasn't one of my best picks, but TJ Sanders, I love that guy as well. Kind of skipped right over him. Chris Abrams-Drain, better than I thought. I thought I lowered him down. Trey Harris, 72. Tony Grimes, 72. Huge injury concern there. And McAllen Castles actually isn't as horrible as I thought he might be. And Jalen Daniels coming out of 62 overall. Overall, it's a good, nice little thing. Do we want to see the rest of the class here? I think that's a good thing to go over. So Marvin Harrison, who went number 1 overall, goes at an 84 overall. Caleb Williams at an 80, 81 for Brock Bowers, obviously. Olumiwa, or I guess Olu Fashanu, 79. Nate Wiggins, 77. Someone I would have been really happy with. Leatu Latu at 78. And yeah, Nate Wiggins up there with the guys. If I were to skip out on Chop Robinson and go with like McKinstry or something, I probably would have been happy either way, but whatever. Joe Alt, we skipped right over Leatu Latu, I think. And then Talise Fuaga got a 76 overall. Drake May at a 78, falls to the freaking Colts, and that's terrible. I'm going to trade him. I'm going to move around these rookie quarterbacks just manually. That way, we see them get opportunities. I'll put them in a realistic, area. Maybe trade them with another rookie, whatever it might end up being. It just they need to be in better spots for this really to have us to have fun. J.C. Latham, right tackle. Jared Verse. I can't remember what dev trade I gave him. He is normal. I'll move that up as well. I just did that for draft purposes. I got really annoyed one night and just kind of made sure he wasn't going number 1 overall because that was actually happening. Marius Mims, right tackle, 74 overall. Kool-Aid. I guess we can just sort by overall and kind of go over it as well. Malik Neighbors at 79, getting taken this late is a huge steal. Dallas Turner, Bo Nix goes to the Seattle Seahawks. I remember that. Cooper DeJean, Braylon Trice, Troy Fountainu, or Fautanu, depends on who you talk to. Jordan Morgan, 73. Romo Dunze at a 77. But yeah, let's just sort by overall grade. It's Marvin Harrison Jr., then Brock Bowers, then Caleb Williams. So we get 2 of the top 3 players. Malik Neighbors obviously up there. Leatu Latu, Nate Wiggins, Joe Alt, Cooper DeJean, Keon Coleman at a 76. Troy Fountainu, like we already kind of talked about. Chop and kind of go down here and look for fun names. Trey Benson and Bucky Irving, running backs there. And I think actually we had a better running back in this class. Jonathan Brooks ends up going to the Eagles. Probably should have given him a little bit better acceleration than 90. He's not really known for his speed, but he's good either way. Emeka Egbuka, Terrion Arnold. Now Jalen Catalon at a 74 overall, picked in the 5th round, just has the most the most atrocious injury rating because it's bad, man. His injury is at a 78, which is terrible. It's actually a 75, but it's terrible. Good injury is like 90s. So yeah, it's not looking hot for him. Let's scout some AFC East competition with Malik Neighbors will be getting edge rushed by Chris Braswell. Smile Munden as well. Spencer Rattler back in the Max Melton might be quite good here. And Mario Williams, someone to keep an eye out on as well. Very similar to Khalil Shakir, actually, in my eyes. and we'll go find other people in our division. Oh, this is going to be annoying. Keon Coleman, Jatavion Sanders, two 21-year-olds are going to have a field years against us. Quint Ewers comes in at a 68 overall in the 3rd round. Fabian Lovett goes in the 5th into the 6th here, and 7th is Bo Collins, who might actually see some playtime against one of us, or against us in one of these games and one of these times. Jets, the last team here on the list, is Joe Alt at a 77. He'll be doing a good job, but hey, hopefully Chop Robinson can get the best of him sometimes. Brian Thomas Jr., that's going to be tough. Jade Barron's a good player. AJ Barner and Malachi Moore. I really like this draft class. And just like that, just wait till you see all the blue and everything like that when I generate it. Oh my god. And just like that, we are a 76 overall team. On Wenu, Mock and Limmer is like interchangeable with Cooper Beebe here. We can move Mock into center if we wanted to. On Wenu can kick out, put Javon Foster in a starting tackle spot. I don't think he's really fit to play yet, but Castles, Bowers here, Xavier Legette, Adonai Mitchell, Trey Harris, Johnny Wilson, but we still have Demario Douglas, Caleb Williams, and then these two running backs, Audric Estime as well in that fullback spot, and then defensively, fully blue. Yeah, Cole Bishop here is a good player. Brendan Schooler, our gunner behind him. But Barrett Carter, Jeremiah Trotter, Stutzman should be a very fun, chaotic, energetic linebacking squad. Marte Mapu to start at strong safety for us. Well, Tony Grimes, Kalen King, Darius Rush, Christian Gonzalez, and Chris Abrams-Drain all fight for some reps. Tavondre Sweat and Michael Hall, who ended up being a 74. I don't know. Michael Hall, I'm not saying he's not playable. It's just it wouldn't be ideal. Keon White will end up being a rotational guy, maybe starting on the other side of Chop Robinson, depending on how good Uche is. And yeah, just a very fun team and series ahead of us. Hopefully we can keep it up and keep it going. Super fun stuff. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the video. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, go down and subscribe, go watch any of the past content on the channel. It would mean a lot to me. And that'll be all for me. Thanks for watching. Deuces.